Well, we've had some people really wanting to see our Belgian fence. Obviously, we're just starting. A Belgian fence is basically a diagonal checkerboard pattern that you can make out of a tree. We're going to do apples because apples are our passion. So this is how we're doing it. This video will be shot in several parts. I will shoot a couple of update videos every year, Lord's will anyway, so you can see what we're doing. Right here is the piece of equipment that makes this job easier. You can do all of this by hand. I dug the post holes by hand, and that's basically one 40 pound, I think 40 pound bag of a quick set concrete mix per post. You can drive the posts in the ground, but I don't have the equipment to do that, so we didn't do it. But anyway, we use this John Deere 1025R. We've got a Ford on the farm and an Alice also. The Alice is broke down right now. We have a PDH 100 post hole digger. And we got a couple of bits. That's the bit we use for planting regular trees. If they're in small pots, if they're in bigger pots, that isn't a big enough hole. But sometimes we'll use that to start the hole, and then we'll work from there. So anyway, we have, I think, 21 trees. Let me double count. Yep, 21 trees in this row. I'll quickly review with you the varieties we've got here. We've got a pumpkin sweet, and I think, yep, that's a pumpkin sweet also. So 2 pumpkin sweet. Antonovica Monosar, don't know much about that Russian variety, but there it is. We're going to find out. We like rare trees. We have a Blindheim orange, a Rhinette D. Mork, and another one, same thing. And we have an Ellison's orange, another Ellison's orange, we have a golden Harvey, a yellow bellaflower, a yellow delicious, not my favorite, but doesn't hurt to have one on the farm. Was my dad's favorite. He's not with us no more. He's in heaven. We have a Gloria Mundi and another Gloria Mundi. Oh, we have a winter pearmain, another winter pearmain, a Lamb Abbey pearmain, another Lamb Abbey pearmain, a Kid's Orange Red, another Kid's Orange Red, another Kid's Orange Red, and a James Grieve. So this is how we're doing our trellis system. We are using a 12.5 gauge high tensile electric fence wire. This is a aluminum type wire. We are using these post anchors. Don't know if anybody's ever done this on an apple orchard, and I don't know that how well it'll work, but this is what we've started doing. We're not running long strands, long distances on wire. So And then I will bring this wire around and nail it in with a U-staple. I'll try to get a video on that for you. This will be a 4-wire system. I've only got holes drilled for 3 of the wires so far. The top hole, I gotta get a ladder to get. I'm almost tall enough. This is basically 8 feet. The posts. You'll see I put another anchor here. So I've got 2 anchors holding one way and 2 anchors holding the other way. And then I push the end post to take up the slack. But as you can see, I'm already drilled for the bottom 2 holes on all the posts and getting ready to start feeding the cable through. Once the cable gets in, this will start to take some shape, and then I will be tying the trees that are tall enough. I'll be tying them over. This is going to be a border to our driveway, as you can see. Be a privacy hedge, a border, living fence. It will produce fruit. Belgian fence definitely will produce fruit. It'll take several years to train these trees to fill in this gap. These are all on a G214 rootstock. That's a Geneva series semi-dwarf. We just started working with this one last year. We've been working with G935 and G41 and 222 for years. But we're going to use some 214 also. And we decided to try that out here. I think it's vigorous enough to do what we need. We want to have enough vigor in the tree to fill this area up, but I don't want so much vigor in the tree that all I'm doing is pruning and cutting. So we thought that this would be a good choice. I think a G41 is quite a bit. It is quite a bit more dwarfing rootstock, and I'm afraid that it'll run out of steam before we hit the 8-foot mark. So we want to have enough steam to get there. So this is what we're doing. Over my shoulder back here, you'll see we have an apple orchard planted in this field. These are, the majority of them are on an M111 rootstock, which is a larger semi-dwarf. And then across the creek down there where that truck is, we have a U-pick setting set up that we've started planting. Those are all on small semi-dwarf rootstock. That was planted last year, so they got a ways to go. And then when this Belgian fence is done, we will step right on over here at about 10 feet from this row, and we will do about 9 feet actually. We will do an espalier to keep it 2-dimensional, and then there'll be one more row 10 feet from it. So we're going to have about 65 trees here in this area, and I think that'll work out great for us. It'll give us enough room to get the John Deere 1025 up in between them, with either the bucket with baskets in the front of it, crates, or a trailer. I won't want to use the trailer on the steep incline that we're going to be dealing with up here once we move to this section, but I can use the trailer over here to collect fruit in between these 2 rows and get all this fruit. So that's the idea. All your bigger orchards are designed around the type of equipment they use, and the fact that we are a small orchard means that we can design it around our John Deere 1025R, and we can do what we want that way. Your bigger orchards are looking for full coloration on the apples. We're not looking for full coloration on the apples. I mean, I hope to get full color on the apples, but I'm just looking to grow nice apples. I'm not trying to sell to a wholesale market that is going to grade my apples on the color. We are selling to the public, and so apple color isn't as big of a deal as people make it out to be. We are a certified natural farm, no pesticides, no chemicals. We are getting ready to transition to organic here, and we hope that that continues to go as smooth as it already has. We won a grant that is helping with the organic transition on the farm, so we want to continue to work that way, and this is what we're doing. So anyway, I'll shoot this video here in 2 segments. This will be the first one, and we'll shoot another section of this video, and I'll splice them together so you can see them, and it'll show me feeding the other 2 cables. I'll get my wife to help with that, Tiffany, and it'll show me feeding the other 2 cables, and I'll show you the clipping of the trees to the bottom line for the trees that are tall enough. A lot of these trees are not tall enough, but there'll be probably just 1 or 2 that are. But anyway, we'll be back in a moment. Thank you. Alright, we're going to shoot the second part of this video. We're going to put part 1 and part 2 in the same video, and then we'll be waiting until springtime to get into the details of the rest of it. But anyway, I've already got the wire strung through the first 2 posts up there. And as we saw in the first part of the video, I've already got the upper wire strung. And so I need to go take this wire, and of course it's easier if 2 people, but I've only got 1. And that's why you're on a tripod instead of someone viewing. But the wires will go through these anchors. These are trellis anchors. They're used on grapevines and so forth. I think they'll be sufficient to do my Belgian fence. If not, I'll have to modify, but I'll also show you another item that I do to make it a little bit stronger. So you stay here. I'm gonna go up here and get this fed through. You got to take a little bit of time with it and have a little bit of patience, because you don't want to kink your wire. Kink your wire, it makes it hard to pull the slack out of it. And then if you can't pull the slack out, then when the weight of the apples get on it, the apples are going to weigh it down. I'm going to adjust this tripod so you all can see a little bit better what I'm going to be doing here. Let's see, we need to go down just a little bit more. Okay, you can see I've got the wire pulled through my hole. Now what I've got to do is feed this over the cable, and then I will push it up the wire and hook it. Now you can see my other one is not currently up here, is not currently where it needs to be, and that's because it's easier just to let it do what it wants to until this one's in. Now, I take and pull it by hand first. And on the top one, I've already pushed the post up to take out slack. So I can't do that on this one. And so I push it with my hand, pull it. Technically pulling and pushing. Now, good pair of lineman pliers. These I think are I thought these were Mac tools. Not that it matters. I don't even see a brand name on it. They still could be Mac tools. Mac does that sometimes. But I'm going to get you up here a little bit closer. So now what I do here is I can take my lineman pliers and use the post and the handle as leverage to pull the cable. And then I just push. Now you can put a screw in these. These have screw holes. Possibly would make things easier, but this works, and it's one less thing to do. Because once I get these pushed into place, they're not going to go through the post, and unless the wire breaks, they're not coming back this way. So, like I said, get whatever bite I can here, because every bit of bite I get will make this trellis tighter, and I can come back later after the apples weigh it down and readjust. But this right here is why I want to get it as tight as I can now, because it'll just look better later. And what I do is I take my wire around the post, hope you can see, and bend it as tight as I can. Around the original part of the cable where it came through the post. And then I take fence staples. You don't want to turn them straight up and down off the grain of the wood. You want to turn them sideways. And so I take that fence staple and I put her right there where the two wires cross. Now you don't want it so tight that it breaks the wire, but I like it up there. Then I'll take and bend this down so you don't get hooked on it, and so no apples get poked with it. We'll cut this wire off. And then we will just put her in there like that. I'm going to raise you up and let you watch me do the top one the same way. So bear with me as I move the camera. Be easier with a second helper, but I don't got one right now. And I wanted to get this video shot for you so I can get it posted. So I will do the same thing here. I will bend my wire around. And we will bend it around the original cable. Now if you don't got the hand strength for that, you can use pliers. You can do whatever makes it work for you. That is just what works for me. U-staples can be a pain. That's what happens. I'll have to find that. so it don't end up in my tractor tire. But for now, let's just get one put in. Now, I'm sure that there's a million ways to do this on trellis system that are better. But I was looking for economical and something that would look good. And in my opinion, this looks good. Now, I've got one more wire to put on the bottom. There's no need to hold you all on video for that. And I'll pull the slack out at the top on this other end. And then, like I said, this is as simple as pushing it in place. You'll see these are already in place. And I still got to pull slack out on this end up here. And I've got the wire to put on the bottom. And then later, but that's down the road, later I got to put a hole up here at the top of the post for the top wire. Now these are on 2 foot spacing. That's what worked for me. You may want to go 18-inch spacing if that's what you need. We're going to support these crossways, diagonal, make diagonal blocks, and that'll be done with bamboo. We'll use a 5/16 3 millimeter, sorry, a 5/16 or 8 millimeter 3 foot long piece of bamboo, and that's what we will tie to the wires, and then we'll use the bamboo to guide our wires or our trees. Well, anyway, that's all I got for you this morning. I hope you enjoyed. God bless you, and watch out for part 2, which is technically part 3. Thank you.